Wherever I may wander, wherever I may go, always float back down the Ohio. Wherever I may travel, wherever I may roam, Paducah calls me home. Paducah calls me home. Paducah calls me home.
123 years ago this week, on April 19th, 1897, a party of Paducah's prominent citizens stood outside the Palmer House Hotel at 5th and Broadway to stare at a strange light in the northwestern sky. Reports say that the light moved over a considerable space and not in a straight line, so the party was certain it was not a star. Look up in the night sky today, and blinking lights could be explained any number of ways. Airplanes, drones, cell towers, even satellites. But 123 years ago, lights in the sky were harder to justify. The use of electric lighting was still in its infancy. This sighting took place 6 years before the Wright brothers' first flight and 3 years before the first Zeppelin lifted off the ground. Hot air balloons existed, but they primarily went just up and down. Besides, if a hot air balloon had been anywhere in the vicinity of Paducah, the town would have known about it. The folks who saw the floating light weren't the type for tall tales. They included department store owner Charles Wiley, prominent businessman George Langstaff, and Postmaster General of Paducah Frank Fisher. Truly, they had seen an unidentified flying object, what they generically called an airship. Yet, no one freaked out. As strange an occurrence as this should have been, the group seemed to take the vision in stride. Likely they were cynical about the whole shebang, and the reason for their hesitation lay in the fact that they were hardly the first to see such an airship. In the previous 6 months, dozens of other cities throughout the United States also reported sightings. The airship sightings began in California in late 1896. Witnesses reported a light moving over Sacramento at a height of 1,000 feet. Some said they heard voices issuing commands from a dark shape that was attached below the light. In the next couple of days, airships were also reported in San Francisco, Stockton, and Oakland. More details were added, including the warbling sound the ships made and the presence of a slender, 7-foot-tall extraterrestrial. In the ensuing months, many more sightings occurred, slowly spreading westward from California to Texas, Arkansas, Nebraska, and many places in between. On April 10th, just before reaching Paducah, the airship made an appearance in St. Louis, where W.H. Hopkins reported seeing a 20-foot, 3-propeller craft being driven by 3 nude women and 1 nude bearded man. On April 16th, the craft was seen in Cairo, Illinois, followed by Metropolis, Illinois, and then, finally, Paducah. As stated, though, excitement over the airship seemed at a minimum. The Paducah Daily Sun concluded in its initial article with the statement, "The great majority of people are still skeptical on the subject and are inclined to think that a gigantic hoax is being practiced." As it turned out, the great majority were right. 2 days later, on the back page of the paper, it was reported that our town had been the butt of a practical joke at the design of 2 local unnamed youths who had attached a lantern to a giant kite. As the Sun stated, "This is the airship seen about Paducah at least." Further, they had not just flown their kite in Paducah, but in neighboring areas too, explaining the sightings in Metropolis and Cairo. Like Paducah, many of the sightings throughout the country were subsequently proved to be pranks and frauds. But many of the airship sightings remain a mystery to this day, including the initial reports from California and W.H. Hopkins' naked pilots in St. Louis.